Hey guys, this is the Unveil Podcast with DJ Wavy.
Yo, this is DJ Wavy. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first episode of the Unveil Podcast with me, Tim with the Waves, also known as DJ Wavy. And if you want to find out why, come make sure you tune in next week so that you guys could see the drip. Okay, so on the Unveil Podcast, we're going to be talking about quite a few things, but this is centered and focused in and around the Caribbean. Okay, today we got a lot in store for you guys. We have our feature, which is going to be with this guy right here, my brethren, Paddy. He's a Bajan, he's a creative, and we're going to just talk to him for a few minutes. Try to understand how COVID-19 has affected him as a creative and possibly the other creatives in Barbados. And then we're gonna look at some news. We're gonna check the Unveil box to see what kind of questions you guys sent me. So let's get into it. So we're gonna start things off with the what's going on segment and what's trending now. For everybody in the Caribbean, I know this is going to affect you sadly. I'm very sad about it personally. And that is the passing of Alex Trebek. You know, the guy from Jeopardy, Play Jeopardy Sound. Yeah, that one. He died today of pancreatic cancer. I think it was, right, E-Boss? Pancreatic cancer. And we just want to send our condolences to, him and his family. All the Jeopardy lovers out there, if there is anyone in the Caribbean that went on Jeopardy before, send us a message on Instagram at Unveil. Maybe we might feature you next week. You never know. And then this week, of course, was the United States election. And I know everyone in the Caribbean is excited about that because I really don't want to say certain names on here, but you already know how that went. Congrats to Mr. Biden, the new president. All right. So before we get into the news, we're going to look at one interesting fact from the Caribbean. And this is what it says here. Hold on, let me find my notes. Did you know that the Caribbean region has approximately 7,000 islands? Now, when I look at the CARICOM banner, I see about 30 flags. How much flags on the CARICOM banner? Anybody? Y'all don't know? No. I think 20 some. I think we got like 20 some flags on the CARICOM banner. So I don't know where they find the rest of these from. But it says here the Caribbean region has approximately 7,000 islands. And only 2% of the region is inhabited by people. And that's coming from travel.earth. Now that is crazy. That is crazy. I mean, we all know why the Caribbean people really like to go to the States and, to Europe and Canada to live so we can make a big money. You understand? But let's continue on with the show. So coming up, we have some news items and some other interesting things we need to talk about. But before we get into that, we are going to tell you about this purse. And this is coming from our sponsor, the iShop, and that is AII, as in, like a pirate eye, the iShop. You can check that out on Instagram, Twitter, what else they on? Just check it out. Anywhere you have internet, I guess. So it says here, the iShop is a Jamaican online store that offers a wide array of women accessory products, ranging from handbags to brooches, shoes, and other clothing items. Payment options for purchases made to the iShop are Scotiabank, the National Commercial Bank, NCB. With every purchase, an iShop customer has access to free delivery services to Junction Mandeville from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Mondays to Thursdays and 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Fridays. No delivery on Saturdays. For more information, check out the iShop on Instagram, or you could call them at 876-312-9788, or send an email at theishop@gmail.com. That is the AI shop with two P's and an E at gmail.com. All right, so right now we're going to look at the news in and around the Caribbean. First on the list, we have the Bahamas has removed its mandatory 14-day quarantine requirement. And I know that's great news for the Bahamian people because, boy, they've been in the squeeze since March. I mean, the worst thing the government do is lock down everything plus the bars. I don't know why he did that. But it says here, Tourism and Aviation Minister Dionisio de Aguilar. I do apologize if I mispronounce that. I see my crew members now mouthing me the pronunciation. I asked them for about 30 minutes. But anyway, so it says here, the new regulation to allow visitors to the country to stay at hotels and go to beaches came into effect on Sunday, November 1st. And as a result, the emergency orders will be revised to reflect that change. All right, so I know that's tremendous news for a lot of my friends back home in the Bahamas. Good stuff, you guys. Good luck with that. Antigua and Barbados celebrated 39 years this week. Their Prime Minister, Gaston Brown, had some really inspirational things to say amidst the COVID-19. He says, "Our nation is at war with an invincible enemy." I think I'm going to ask my sound guy to put some inspirational music as I read this. "Our nation is at war with an invisible enemy. Our enemy is badly weakened through no fault of our own. But our nation did not survive hundreds of years of slavery, and another 150 years of colonial exploitation to surrender to all that we achieved. We did not rise from our knees to stand as equals in the councils of the world, to turn back the hands of time." I think that this is some really good stuff coming from, the leader in Antigua, encouraging his people through this very, very rough time. Good stuff. Secondary school closes in Dominica after it records an increase of COVID-19 cases. It says the Dominican government has ordered the closure of a secondary school, the mandatory wearing of masks, and the banning of mass events, as the island recorded 8 new cases of coronavirus on Friday, pushing the total to a grand number of 50. Education Minister Octavia Alfred said that the decision to temporarily shut down the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, that's what it's called, became necessary after a teacher at the institution tested positive. I understand, some of you guys might be wondering why we would talk about such a low case number, but it's the Caribbean, guys. They're a part of us, and Dominica needs our prayers too. They just had some crazy flooding with the storm that went through the Caribbean, so let's keep them in our prayers, okay? St. Kitts and Nevis opts out of CARICOM travel bubble. Now here we have some boasty people. The St. Kitts Nevis government says it is opting out of CARICOM travel bubble, citing a number of health concerns to its citizens and residents as the region continues to grapple with the impact of coronavirus. Participation in the CARICOM bubble with countries of higher risk assessment and less stringent protocols would expose citizens and residents to elevated health risk. And this is coming in from Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, as he said on a television program called Leadership Matters this past Tuesday night. Now, I could remember a few, maybe last year, I'm not going to call the name of that country, but, a country tried to do this, and, the famous saying, karma is the country ended up needing help from every other Caribbean island after it wanted to opt out of the CARICOM travel bubble. I really don't want to, wish any bad luck on St. Kitts, but you guys, boy, I tell you. Belizean Prime Minister tested for COVID-19. It says here the Prime Minister of Belize, Dean Barrow, has been tested for the coronavirus after one of his security guards tested positive. Him, along with the other members of his team, of course, are going to be tested. Boy, crazy things going on. COVID-19 really has a tremendous effect on everyone, especially us here in the Caribbean, because a lot of us would have had to come back home from the different major countries in the world, and we still going through it. I don't know for how much longer, but hey, let's see how it goes. And now, as we go into the sports news, just let me put it up right here. Sports news: West Indies stalwart Jason Holder had a week to remember in the IPL for his franchise. He took 2 from 25 from his allotted 4 overs in a beatdown of the Mumbai Indians on November 3rd. He then followed up with a very good all-round performance with bat and ball against the Royal Challengers on November 6th, with 3 for 25 from 4 overs with the ball, before following that up with a handy cameo of 24 in a 64-run partnership with New Zealand skipper Kane Williamson. All right. Leon Bailey had a superb week in Europe for Bayer Leverkusen. That's how you pronounce that? Leverkusen? Leverkusen. Bagging a brace against boy, these were serious. Hey, let me talk to your football managers for a second, okay? When you're coming up with team names, please make it easy for the reporters to read. This says here, bagging a brace against Hapoel Be'er Shiva, in a 4-2 win. All right, for whoever's interested in that. The mercurial and controversial Marlon Samuels called it a career this week as he officially stepped away from international cricket amidst a career marred by inconsistency and controversy. He will be remembered as West Indies' saving grace in the second ICC T20 Cricket World Cup that they won in 2016 and also back in 2012. He no doubt would have loved to have had better career averages, of course, for West Indies, considering the immense talent that he had. And that is it for the news roundup, presented to you by the Unveil Podcast. Thank you for listening. All right, so we're gonna get into our feature segment with the one and only Patty. But before we do that, let me check the Unveil box, see what questions you guys sent. Make sure you send questions next week too. All right, let me tell you that now before I forget. Send questions to us on the Unveil Podcast on Instagram, and you could also post your questions right here under our video. Hopefully we get to you, but let's see what we have here. Question number 1. Does Kamala Harris, as the new incoming U.S. VP, give Jamaica bragging rights since she also has South Asian descent, definitely. I'm gonna have to say yes because this just don't make any sense. I think this is a Jamaican Twitter question, so I'm gonna let you guys answer that. Okay, why do you think Caribbean people are so interested in U.S. politics? Well, the answer to that question is very simple. The U.S. dollar is very high, and I came from a country where it's 1 to like 250. So of course I'm interested in what's going on over there because everything in the States affects everything else. Number 3, do you think Jamaica is the best island in the Caribbean? Number 4, why is Guyana considered a Caribbean country even though it's located in South America? What kind of stupid question is this? I think it's because, well, Guyana is the only English-speaking country in South America. The CARICOM headquarters is in Guyana, so Guyana was one of the 4 founding members of CARICOM, and Guyana is the best, so that's why it's in the Caribbean. But I mean, historically speaking, Guyana went through the same, things as every other Caribbean country, so I think that's also a part of the reason why Guyana is considered. Do you drink Manish water? Okay, so for y'all that don't know, Manish water is a Jamaican delight, a delicacy, some may say, consisting of the parts of the goat that you don't usually eat. Now let me tell you all a story. A few Christmases ago, I visited a good friend of mine, and I was in the house. I sat down, put the Wi-Fi on my phone. You know how the thing go. And she said, "Well, do you want some soup?" I say, "Soup? Soup sounds good." So she brought the soup and I ate the soup. I don't really like food in soup, so I ate the liquid first, right? Now, one of the times I pick up my spoon, folks. Say it's a goat jaw I find on my spoon. Say it's a goat jaw I find on my spoon. You understand? A goat jaw I find on my spoon. So I was like, wait. What kind of soup is this? And that's when she told me, well, this is Manish water. And I say, oh no, this is not okay. Okay? Personally, now I don't have anything against Jamaican people, Jamaican food. Personally, I love Jamaica. But the Manish water thing it has to go. Okay? It is not okay. It has to go. I do not like it. If somebody offer me it, I might drink it, just to be courteous, but that can't go on. What do you think of all the new vlogs? What do you think of all the new vlogs that have popped up during the quarantine period? This one considered? I don't think so. But alright, let me be honest with y'all. I'm pretty spoiled when it comes to YouTube. I watch guys like Marquez and Peter McKinnon. So, I really just can't take I can't take the phone YouTube videos, bro. I'm not discouraging anyone from, being creative and putting your content out there. But the phone videos has got to stop, okay? If you're going to do it with a phone, at least people change the camera angle for the first 15 minutes. Don't just keep it standard. There's so much things I could talk about, but I think that's the last question in the question box. So, like I said at the beginning, you guys remember to send your questions. We'll get to it next week. And now to the feature with the one and only Pata. Could one of my guys in here message Patty real quick? Let's get Patty on the call. See what's going on. We got some crazy questions to ask Patty. I think I'm gonna use my Bajan accent for this one.
because these Bajans don't understand when regular people talking to them. So you have to talk to them like this. Hey, Paddy, you on the line, bro?
Paddy! I don't think Paddy is ready. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about an interesting fact that I found out last week. Now, when me and one of the sound guys was getting ready for the show, I randomly typed in interesting facts around the world, right? And this is so crazy. You know, the first fact that they put, oh, I think Paddy here. All right, I can tell you all that story next week.
Hey, Paddy. What's going on, bro? We ready for that?
Yeah, just about 2 hours already, huh?
You know how production life go, Paddy. You know how production life go. So Lewin Padmore is a Bajan producer, editor, videographer, photographer, basically anything and everything with a camera. He is a graduate from Northern Caribbean University here in Mandeville, Jamaica. And he has a Bachelor of Arts in Media Communications with emphasis in television. All right, so for those who do not know, this is the great Paddy. So Paddy, today, bro, we're going to be talking about how creatives in Barbados have been affected by the pandemic, right? So the first question I ask, the first question I have for you, Paddy, is in general, talk about how the pandemic changed, you know, life for you as a creative in Barbados.
All right, cool. Well, first of all, being able to go and create stuff was put on pause. Essentially, Barbados was put on lockdown, I think, for about 2 months. So, for the most part, we couldn't leave our homes to go and shoot and record anything. If we did leave, it was mostly just to go to the supermarket to get food, right? So that would have definitely prohibited so many things that we wanted to do. In addition to that, what has been really bugging me of late is the inability to get stuff into the country.
Were you trying to order stuff from China, bro? You can't do
I
it.
want to upgrade. No, I trying to upgrade some gear that I have, so I can get some better quality work done, and that's been a pain. I don't know how to put this one. All right, cool. Essentially, like if somebody was coming in from overseas, I would ask them to bring a piece of gear for me.
I mean, yeah, that's the Caribbean way.
That's one. Two, pardon me?
I say that's the Caribbean way.
Yeah. In addition to that, no, the other means, traditional means, would be to use something like Aeropost.
Yeah.
To get your items brought in from wherever. The problem that has been occurring is since no one is really traveling, these companies have been having an influx of customers and as a result packages.
Yeah. A whole lot of delays.
Slows down the ability for them to deliver.
Yeah.
So yeah, currently wanting to upgrade equipment to do better work and not being able to get the stuff that that's like one of the biggest things that has been impacting me as a result of COVID.
Yeah.
Additionally, this one is in a positive way because we can't do things traditionally. So like if companies would have had award ceremonies or all their workers or meetings, etc., they can't necessarily do it how things used to be done before this pandemic. So as a result, a lot of persons and companies have been turning to media to achieve the same goals that they would have but in a different way. So that's how COVID has affected creators in Barbados positively as well, because a lot of persons are now turning to media as an alternative.
Yeah, that is true.
Increases the amount of work that creators get at this point in time.
That is true. So I have an next question here. What do you think about my Bajan accent?
That's a Guyanese accent.
Why you hating, bro? You know the accent clean. All right, so
You know that.
since quarantine, a lot of people have a lot of time home. I don't really know if that's the case per se for you, but would you say that the quarantine provided more time to create content for you?
For me, no. So essentially during the quarantine time, well, I have a full time job. So during that time, I was doing a lot of editing for work at home,
Mm-hmm.
probably more so than when I'm at work.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I can't necessarily say that the quarantine did provide free time. In addition to that, because of the quarantine, a lot of Zoom meetings were had,
yeah. That's true.
right? And anything more so than usual. So everyone would assume now that you would be free sent to your home, and as a result, we had a whole set of meetings on Zoom. That
Yeah.
would eat a lot of time as well. So for me personally, I would say no. The quarantine didn't exactly allow me the ability to create more.
Oh, okay. So would you say that jobs, creative jobs would have been easier to find during the quarantine for you as somebody who is experienced in the field?
First of all, I want to say experienced, but no, I would say no. And yes and no. So essentially, because of COVID, companies probably weren't willing to spend the money that they probably would have if things were normal, because they got worried about if they company can make enough money this year, for them to be able to pay their staff. Some companies, in addition to that, have laid off persons. So if the money that they would have once spent to do media, they're not exactly gonna want to spend now,
Yeah, yeah, that's
knowing
true.
that they don't have enough money to pay the staff, right?
Mm.
So that's one way. Um, but the flip side of that is to, because companies need creative ways now to either advertise or get different objectives that they would have as a company, then they
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
resort to media because it's in theory a safer means of getting the same things done.
Okay, I get you.
So yes and no to that question.
I get you. I get
Yeah.
you. So this gonna be the final question for today, right? So, as it relates to creativity in Barbados, the content
Mhm.
that Bajan creators put out into the world. What do you want to see for Barbados in the future in that regard?
They'll definitely have to edit this part. What I would like to see. Huh. Personally, I like creative content, but I think because of my time span at NCU, journalism is important as well, right? And I would like to see some well-crafted stories, um, competing on like an international level, quality-wise. So nice shots, nice framing, well thought out elements
Yeah.
to be added to these news stories. Like that's something that I would really love to see.
It,
Creative ways though, a lot of Barbadians within the creative realm right now are doing a pretty great job. Um, there's a lot of mind blowing stuff out there from the creatives that I've seen posting all the stuff on Instagram. I can't really say that there's just something in particular that I want because um, we all want different things.
yeah, yeah.
But from what I've been seeing, the creators in Barbados want some. The creators in Barbados have been doing a really, 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 really great job of late with the quality award that they have been putting out.
Okay,
I
that
would
sounds
just
good.
like it to be more standardized and not just a skill based thing where, yeah, I might be good, so my work is good, but then another person out there who cares not, um, isn't really doing anything great. It should
Yeah,
reach a point where there's a standard,
yeah.
and in order to operate in this realm, your work needs to be this.
Mhm.
However, if I'm more skilled, my work could be way higher. But I feel like there should be a particular standard regarding quality of work. And I think that's what I would like most.
Well, definitely. There should always be a standard, especially for, creative content, because, I mean, you can't just put out any old junk, bro. That isn't okay. All right, Patty. So thanks for joining us, bro. Just before you, what do you mean you cannot? It's not okay. Before you go, though, Patty. Before you go, I need you to say one thing in the most Bajan way you could possibly say it. All right. Say aisle 9.
Aisle 9.
Say it.
Come on.
Why you wet up your tongue to say that, bro? You know that I know your Bajans is talk.
I think.
Aisle 9. Say aisle 9.
I think you may study Bajan accent with the Guyanese accent.
Never. We don't talk like that, bro.
Research next time before you do an episode.
Never. All the people on this podcast know the Bajan thing. But alright, bro. Thanks for joining.
What I would like to say before I go.
Yeah.
What I would like to say before I go is just follow me on Instagram, everybody. Lewin Padmore, Lewen Padmore on Instagram. Thank you very much.
Alright, bro. I'm gonna hang up the call.
Music.
Hang up the call. Shut up, bro. I'm gonna hang up the call right now.
Cue music.
Alright, cool. I want to say thank you to a very good friend of mine, Lewin Padmore.
So that's it.
Oh, the box side. Bro, we already done the interview, bro. What are you talking about?
So that's it. No, I get to go.
Yes, bro. I hanging up the call now.
Pleasure doing business.
You see these Bajans? This is what I just was talking about this,
What?
Anyway, later, bro. Later. The interview is done, Patty.
So what?
What the box said.
Later.
Yeah, bro. Thanks to Lewin Padmore. Remember to check him out on Instagram at Lewin Padmore for some really nice content, videos, photos, the whole 9. And that brings us now to the end of our show. Oh. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you guys keep it locked right here on the Unveil Podcast on YouTube. Check our Instagram channel for some behind the scenes, some extra stuff. Remember to send in your questions, okay? Until next time, see y'all later.
If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe and click the bell icon to keep up to date.